Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica, and on today's episode, we are talking about Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird that came out into theaters last week, 2 weeks ago. Not quite sure exactly when, but we've been hearing a lot of buzz from it lately. It's looking pretty prime for some Oscar nominations. It's gotten some great SAG Award nominations as well as Golden Globe nominations. So let's just get talking to it. Okay, I'm going to start off by saying I love this film. I was a little worried that the hype was a little too real and that I might not like it as much as, everyone's telling me. Like, I'm not sure if it's like 100% Rotten Tomatoes. I'm currently 99%, but whatever. And I went in there, I lowered my expectations a little bit because, sometimes these types of movies do disappoint me in a way, like Whiplash. I don't like the movie Whiplash at all, and everybody was telling me to watch it and that I would like it. So I was a little bit worried for this one, but this film surpassed every expectation that I could have had for it. I laughed in this film. I cried in this film. It makes me want to reach out to my mom. And if you do not know about this film, it basically follows a young lady named Christine who gives herself the name Lady Bird as sort of her given name. And she is going through her senior year in high school, and it is kind of following her love life and her relationship with her parents, especially her mother. Basically her kind of figuring out a little bit who she is or who she wants to become eventually, because I don't think anyone really knows who they are as a senior in high school. And I think that it's a really refreshing tale of sort of a coming of age. I wouldn't even put this in a coming of age category. The role of Lady Bird is played by Saoirse Ronan at her best. She is kind of an actress that has been around for a very long time. She's been acting forever. She's one of those cult-style actresses where there's several people who love the things that she's in and will see whatever she's in. I know her from a couple of things. She did that really terrible The Host movie that was, I think, written by the same people who wrote Twilight or something like that. And yeah, that was not good. That was kind of, when the young adult sort of thing was happening. And I'll say Saoirse Ronan was fantastic in this role. You really feel like she is this 17-year-old trying to figure out who the hell she is, who very clearly loves her parents, loves her mom, but just fights with them. And I kind of feel like I relate a little bit because I do get in arguments quite a bit with my parents about things. But there is always that underlying love. And I really, really like that. I also like the fact that she defended her mom to people. It's like, well, she loves me a lot. She's just hard on me. I love that because that's obvious, And she doesn't ever want to really disappoint her mom. Things just happen. She doesn't know how to hold her tongue. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. She's also dealing with the fact that she is from a very poor family who's going to a Catholic school that has a lot of very rich people. And so she has a sort of embarrassment from that, and she lies about where she lives. She tries to hide the fact that she is poor in a way. But there's also never anything cruel about the way she's doing it. She's just, she's just embarrassed for herself. It's not even like she's embarrassed for her family, or she even realizes that she's embarrassed for her family. And throughout the movie, you just have this amazing relationship between the mom and the daughter. And there's something so realistic about this script and this movie, the way it's filmed, the way that they go through their fights, the way that they make up the next day, all of these things. And I know that Greta Gerwig, the director of this film, this is her first directorial debut. She did technically co-direct a movie, but this is the first one solo. And first of all, I'm incredibly impressed. This movie is good enough that I would want to see anything that Greta Gerwig directs. And I know that this is a little bit like life imitating art, or art imitating life in a way, because I think this is kind of a loosely based on Greta Gerwig's childhood in a way. I know she grew up in Sacramento. I know she went to an all-girls, or she went to a Catholic school. So I think that this is kind of very similar to what she went through, which, you write what you know. But it's written so well that it just surprises me that Greta Gerwig has not done more in that realm, I think. And I'll tell you what, it will be a damn shame if she does not get nominated for Best Director at the Oscars. She needs to be. For her solo debut, she does a movie as good as Lady Bird that is like so endearing. It's funny, you cry, like there's like, I don't even put this in a genre of something. Like it's just Lady Bird. And you want to see more things like this because of how real it is and how I think that pretty much anybody who watches this film can relate in some way to some of these characters. You know, we have a lot of teen angst in a way, but it's not teen angst that's annoying. It's teen angst that's like every single person has felt that way. And you also have these people that you really root for, and it's not always Lady Bird, because sometimes she can come off as really brash and really harsh and kind of mean, and she makes bad choices, but she is still someone that you root for in the end, you know, whereas, you know, her best friend in this film is like so awesome. I love her. And then you have a couple of other side characters that you really just like kind of take to, you know, and you want the best for them. Even if you don't get the most from their screen time, I think every actor in this really excels at making their character noticeable. And this movie, I would honestly recommend to anyone. This is one of those movies that there's not one person ever that I would not recommend to watch this. And quite honestly, this is easily my favorite film of the year, easily, by far. And there's still a lot that I haven't seen that I'm really excited. Like, I really want to see Shape of Water. Obviously, The Last Jedi is coming out this week. A whole bunch of stuff. And this film is just, I don't know how anything can live up to it. I'm hoping Shape of Water does, because I'm very, very excited to see that. But Lady Bird just, it feels so right. And it's really nice to have a film that is a feel-good film that kind of breaks your heart at some points in it. It's also a film that really kind of takes you out of what you're living in currently, like whether it's politics you don't want to deal with, whether it's a relationship you don't want to deal with, all this stuff. Like, you can just live in this movie for the hour and a half that it goes by. And it does feel a little bit longer than an hour and a half in a good way. Like, it doesn't fly by. And it also doesn't feel too long. Also, one thing I will say, the ending of this movie, like the very end, basically where they, you know, cut to black and credits roll, I can see some people not necessarily being crazy happy about that, but it's so realistic in the way that, you know, you don't always get exactly what you need from a movie. And I like how this plays with those expectations, but doesn't do them at all. I also think that Timothy Chalamet is really good. He plays a great douchebag. And then Lucas Hedge is in this, and he is so likable. I love it. Oh, God, so precious. Okay, everybody, I hope you guys liked this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on Lady Bird? Do you think it should be 100% or 99% on Rotten Tomatoes? That is the debate. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos Monday through Friday. And, you know, we're getting a lot of good stuff. Riverdale tomorrow, we're getting The Room on Friday, and then Monday I'm coming back with The Disaster Artist. So very, very excited. I hope you guys are too, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.